Hello everyone, Gail Gunn here. I am super excited to be talking about anchors. Thank you to the person who gave me this idea to share a little bit more about them. It's even inspired me to update my website. I'm working on that, but I'll talk more about that later. What's interesting about anchors is, if you think about what an anchor actually is in the terms that we're used to, it's, something that holds a boat in place when it's in the water. And so, kind of similar to that, it's something that holds us in place and reminds us why we're doing things. And anchors are things that we actually have all around and have probably had around for a while. We might just not have heard of them in this context. So think about, pictures that you have around the house, whether it's places you've been, family, friends, favorite artist, things like that. Motivational messages, those of us that have hung up things around the house that inspire us to live, laugh, and love, or, whatever you might have. I have a couple that I'll talk about in a little bit. It can even be clothes. I'm actually wearing this shirt that I'm wearing says Taos on it, and that's the town in New Mexico where my aunt lived. And if you've seen my What's My Why, you know more about that story. But I bought this when I was out there, and I wear it when I need a little extra boost of motivation. I wear it when I remember her, and I wear it just because it makes me feel good. So, it was one of those things where I had, when I saw it, I had to have it. It also reminds me of when Jamie and I, we hiked the Taos Mountain, and, that was a really, really great experience. And so it just reminds me of New Mexico. Anyway, you've probably also seen me wear I have a Tinkerbell shirt that says Believe. I'd really actually like to hang that one up just because I want to see it all the time, and I can't wear it every day because sometimes it doesn't fit, and I have other clothes to wear. It can also be, so it can be clothes. It can be accents around the house, things in your home, things in your office, even things in a studio. It can be crafts that we have, basically anything that makes us feel good about ourselves. Even jewelry, sometimes some of the pieces we wear can be, like if you have a wedding ring, or you have a class ring, or you have a favorite pair of earrings, necklace. I actually have one that broke that I still wear occasionally. I got a new chain for it, wear it occasionally. It's my little starfish. But in this, I'm referring to my notes, sorry. In this particular context, you're looking for something that ties in with the goal or desired outcome that you have. Markers we can set in our physical space that remind us why we're doing what we're doing. I wasn't going to use the word why. Why puts people on the defensive? Markers that we can set in our physical space to remind us of what we want most and the reasons behind it. Things that appeal to as many of our senses as needed to stay on track. And so, it's recommended to have one for each of the 5 senses, or, the hear, smell, taste, touch, see. What's most important about it isn't to have all of these anchors. What's important about it is to have something that reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing. I said why again, dang it. The reasons for doing what you're doing. I like to have one. I actually like to have one not so much for the senses, although the one that I created in January did actually tie into that. I like to have one for each of the elements and the colors that inspire me. So like the colors of fall, the bright oranges, the burnt siennas, the yellows, and the maroons, and those colors just make me feel alive inside. And even sunsets and beach pictures and things like that. So when I pick music that I listen to on YouTube, I always pick one that has the screensaver, the screens change. And I've actually not watched some, even though the music is nice, I haven't watched them because I wanted different pictures. And usually earth is what's represented there. Because it's pictures of ocean, or well, I guess that's water, but fields and trees and things like that. So it can be soft, relaxing music. It can be, for me, it's motivational messages. And I actually just started doing a different one each month because I had that book that I showed in a previous video. January says I can and I will watch me, and February says make a plan. And so, each one kind of keeps me going and reminds me of what I'm doing. And and the reasons for it. A candle, a cup of coffee, a glass of water, even a glass of wine occasionally, but of course not first thing in the morning. Those are usually for the late nights. But, you know, those are just things that, that work for me. And in some cases, or when I'm ready for it to be, you know, when I'm ready to be serious about what I eat, even what I choose to put in my mouth or in my body will tie into my desired outcome. Because, you know, if the goal is to make better choices about nourishing the mind, body, spirit, and space, then you need to make better choices and not devour potato chip sandwiches or you know, fast food, fatty foods, foods that are processed foods, things that are super unhealthy for you. You know what I mean. But it's basically whatever it takes to keep you going, especially when you don't feel like it. We all fall off track. We all have days where we're unmotivated, uninspired, and need something to keep us on track. And the reminders to make conscious choices rather than default to old behaviors. You know, and some of this stuff is stuff from the class that I was taking, but it just helps me to know what I want to say. The class considers it a pattern interrupter when you're tempted to do something out of alignment with what you desire most, and it's a surge of energy giving you the spark you felt when you first decided this is what you want to do. Although some of that is from the class, it is actually in my I've adapted some of the words to fit what's true for me or what I would want people to get out of this. So, you know, when you're tempted to do something, this brings you back in alignment, and you know, like I said, that boost, that surge, that inner fire to keep you going. So what's interesting is that, you know, when I talked about in the beginning, I was talking about, you know, having things around the house, and, you know, for the parts of my house that look like it's staged or visual merchandise, there are certain things around it that I just really love, that just make me feel good inside about myself and kind of keep me going on a regular basis. I have this wall, it's actually in a post on when I redid my office or when I set my office up. I have this really amazing picture that, or motivational thing that I got that talks about the secrets of success and determining what your ultimate goals in life are, and kind of walks you through secrets of success is an acronym. I've tried to find this online many times because I wanted to be able to direct people to it if they want to put it in their space. And there's a couple different reasons that this is an important anchor for me. When this particular saying came into my life, I was going through some really tough times, and the person that gave it to me, we saw it, we read it, and they said, you have to have this. And I framed it and I hung it up, and it's been up and it's been taken down, but it's up again in my office, and it's something that I do refer to remind me of what I've set out to do and who I want to be. I'll see if there's a way to share it. I've attempted it a couple times and it hasn't come out, but I'll see if I can. And then on each of the sides around it are 4 pictures from New Mexico. They are, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the artist's name. Pictures from a museum in New Mexico that I went to with one of my other aunts. They were the ones that really spoke to me. And they are up next to that picture. And so, you know, I look at them and I just sit back, and it just allows me to breathe easier. You can actually see the scroll behind me. I've had it translated a couple times, but basically this scroll behind me is written in Chinese, or it's in Chinese, and I have had it, the person that I bought it from transcribed it for me, but also I wanted to make sure that they were being honest. And so it's actually the 4 seasons. There's winter, spring, summer, and fall represented. And then on either ends of it, there are motivational things that tie into it as well. And then, I mean, you can see more behind me. Some of it's my, ignore some of this stuff. But you can see I have a Tigger here. I have a Tinkerbell. I have a little couple that holds change. Like, I have a lot of different things in my environment that just keep me grounded and keep me going. The newest anchors, and in regards to this particular, you know, anchoring for keeping me on track, are newer things. They're things that I put up that actually keep me on going with the task at hand. So while the things in my external environment are about making me feel good about myself, and I definitely encourage people to have those, You know, the things that I'm doing now are in my office are set up in a way to keep me going, in you know, I can and I will, watch me, you know, like just wanting to stay motivated to keep going because it's been such a long, hard journey to this point. And I have so much more clarity around it and so much more going on inside of me that I need to share it. This also inspired me to update my website. I mentioned that in the beginning too. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to work on it. I want to create an Anchors page where I share this video, and, you know, more about some of the, you know, maybe post the anchors that I've had, or what I'm really, really excited about is that when I do get my supplies and set up to actually make candles, that I am going to have a collection. I have it in mind right now for it to be the Inner Love and Light collection. People can buy those online when they're available, and you know, have them in their space for anchors. But if you have other favorites, you can use those too. I mean, there's plenty of candle people out there. I just wanted to be able to use everything I've had happen in my life, you know, things that I've learned over the years. And the last thing, oh, that's actually both of them. I was going to say some of my anchors, candles that are coming, and updating my website. So I hope this video helped. You know, if you have any questions or need help finding an anchor, or even want help figuring out what your desired outcome is so that you can have anchors that tie into it, feel free to reach out. I'd love to do what I can to help you establish those in your physical space and to get you going on your journey to organizing life and staying motivated. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for this particular idea. If you have, if you're watching this and you have things you'd like me to share, or want me to talk about, please reach out. I'd love to hear what they are, and I'd love to be able to put them together for you. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to stay tuned for whatever comes next.